Smurfing is a plague. If you played any competitive games, chances are you probably got smurfed on once or twice. You know, you queue up for ranked thinking you're gonna have a good game, then you see an enemy racking up 40 kills in like 5 minutes. Or, if you're quote unquote lucky, they will be your teammate. Alright, so after finishing up my MMO video, I feel like I have earned myself a Yap session. And what better subject than something that genuinely pisses me off. So first things first, what are Smurfs? A Smurf is a higher ranking / better player playing from an alternate low ranking account to dunk on low ranked players, aka shitters. In other words, though I do think the first forms of Smurfing were not as bad as what we deal with in current day. Smurfing as a term was coined in 1996 when Warcraft 2 players Geoff Schlongo, Fraser and Greg Warp Boyo made alternate account because no one would play against them due to their skill levels. The accounts were named Papa Smurf and Smurfette. I think Smurfing got even worse thanks to skill-based matchmaking, where some random goober will get matched with people in their skill level and losing their free win, instant gratification privileges is probably a massive hit to the good old ego. At that point, they will feel the need to stomp shitters to feel slightly better. It's like dropping a difficulty in a game and pretending that you actually got better. There is a study, can't really be calling it that due to the insanely small sample size, but I digress. General opinion people had was that Smurfing is in fact toxic. But when asked if they themselves smurfed, 69% of them, nice, answered yes, but their reasons are actually better. The copes you'd hear people say to justify their smurfing usually are, I just wanna chill, try a new build or character, unranked modes. I wanna play with friends, also unranked mode. Actually, if your friends can't reach a point where you can queue up in competitive together, then you're also getting them to a higher rank than they probably deserve. AKA you're boosting them. I think the biggest offenders of smurfing are, without a doubt, content creators though. If you watch any competitive game content, think about how many climbing challenges your favorite creators decided to partake in before. I used to watch a bunch of League of Legends content at some point, and there was a point where every League douche would do the same S tier build where they would be testing it against silvers or some shit. And sometimes they would do it in custom games, but that's irrelevant. The biggest offenders though would be probably Solo Renekton and Red Mercy. Though I haven't watched them in ages, so I don't know what they're up to now. I think Woojin made a great video on the subject. Now we identified the problems. Gremlins who try to inflate their ego by curb stomping lower scaled players while justifying themselves with the same drivel, trying to assure us that they're not like the other toxic smurfs. But what do games do about this? Now I'm only going to talk about games / developers that I personally kept up with at some point in time. Valve, being the absolute madlass they are, obviously dealt with the issue in Dota by banning the smurf accounts and their mains if they trace to them. Riot / Blizzard would, as you would expect, do nothing about it. They'll moan that they don't encourage it, but will most likely do nothing about it. Don't get me wrong, I at least know that Riot Games will send them on a smurf queue after a few dozen games, but this is not a permanent solution. I honestly believe it should be unironically punished with bans, both to your main and alt account, because the way I see it, you're cheating by playing against people who are literally clueless, compromising the integrity of competitive play. You're also being a generally massive piece of shit. And since it's not their main account, Smurfs would typically have no problem typing funny words, and more importantly, griefing the fuck out of their team. So one person pretty much has the potential to win a game for 9 people if it's a 5v5. But this will never happen to anyone playing a Riot game, to be honest. If someone is degenerate enough to resort to smurfing, whether it's for an ego boost or because this is their 4th account after they got permabanned again for being an amazing person, their addiction to League will most likely result in them spending a fuck ton of money buying slop skins. Future video on that soon. So why would they permanently kill off permanent revenue when they can just band-aid the problem with Smurf Q? I guess to conclude this Yap session, all I got to say is I kind of hate how sweaty gaming has become. People will meta-slave or smurf or cheats if it means a cheap win. If that's something you personally do, you can do better. The bullshit you tell people to justify your shitty behavior is not in fact a valid reason, though you're more than free to yap in the comments. Anyway, Yap session over. New video soon. Subscribe. Bye.